Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Beaky with the Untitled Game Show, and I'm back with some more video game news highlights. And in today's episode, we have a lot of news about new video games coming out real soon, and some negative news for the Hitman fans out there. If you guys have not already heard the news, Square Enix is going to be selling the Hitman developer IO Interactive, which I really do feel, in my personal opinions here guys, because with the news, I'm going to share you guys a story and my own opinions just like normal. This is a bad move, of course, because it's similar to what happened with Sleeping Dogs, which was such a great game. You guys remember Sleeping Dogs? That game was absolutely excellent, and we expected the developer to do a sequel to that, but Square Enix moved away from working with that developer, and in this case, IO Interactive is one of those companies that's been working on the Hitman franchise for such a long time, and I personally think the last two Hitman games was not really that bad of games, and I think they could have continued to evolve the series, and a lot of people did actually like the episodic model. Episodic wasn't my personal thing, but I was okay when the game fully came out as a package, and if you want to pick up the whole season and just play it like that. Now, it's always bad when like the original or one of the core parts of a franchise developer gets sold off, and now some new team from Square Enix is going to have to take over the Hitman IP, because obviously IO Interactive is not going to be able to leave with the Hitman IP, which absolutely sucks. And then on the same exact news right here, talking about Square Enix, they're bringing back a franchise that didn't have their last entry be that good anyways, Thief. There is rumors right now that there's going to be a brand new Thief movie along with a new Thief game, and Thief, the last one that came out, wasn't really that great to me guys. I tried to like it, I really tried to get into it, and I mean Eidos is a cool developer. I'm not gonna give them any problems overall, I like what they do, but the last Thief game was not my thing, and recently Square Enix actually renamed the Thief developer to Eidos, to Square Enix Europe, so we probably may not even see the Eidos logo on the release of this new game, depending on how Square wants to rock this out. It's just really interesting that a game that did bad the last entry is the one that's coming out to get a new sequel, where a game that I think was more fan approved and more critically approved than recent Hitman games are the ones that the developer is getting sold off. I'm not really sure I really agree with what Square Enix is doing right now, but maybe because now they're going to be working on Marvel games, they have their mindset to make really big money, and maybe the Hitman franchise wasn't selling enough and it's not really where they want the franchise to be, but I just can't really agree with this all that much guys. Let's just move on to some more video game news on new game announcements. Now, we talked a little bit there about Marvel. How about DC? If you guys are interested in Injustice 2, well, there's an Injustice 2 mobile game which is available to download for free right now on mobile. I'm not the biggest mobile fighting game fan, but I do know there's some gamers out there that do enjoy these games, so that's why I'm highlighting it here for you guys to go check out. Next up, we have the official announcement of Dynasty Warriors 9. This one, to me, I want to bring it to you guys because I know there are some Dynasty Warrior fans out there, and people who have watched my channel before and see that I like playing the Samurai Warrior games, and especially the Hyrule Warriors. And recently with Hyrule Warriors and the Dragon Quest Heroes 2, evolving what those type of games are, I would like to see what the developer has actually learned, Koei Tecmo, from Hyrule Warriors and, well, Dragon Quest Heroes 2 to evolve Dynasty Warriors 9, because I've kind of just not really played the Dynasty Warriors games of recent years, not because it's the same thing, I just stood away from those one, but maybe if they do this one correctly for what I want, I might be able to jump into this one. And I haven't played a Dynasty Warrior game in such a long time. I'm willing to look at it and see what it has to offer to me, especially as somebody who's enjoyed Hyrule Warriors and similar games to that over the last few years. And in other video game release and announcement news, if you guys want to play Minecraft, which you guys already have plenty of platforms to play that on, well, now it's available on the Nintendo Switch to download. So you can head on over to the eShop and download the game for your enjoyment for $29.99. I wouldn't blame you if you don't, or I wouldn't be surprised if you already owned a copy of Minecraft. I own a copy. I own 2 copies of Minecraft because I got it for the kids. I own it on the PlayStation Vita TV and the PlayStation 3. It's a game that I don't play, but I still own and bought 2 copies of them because of them. Things we do for a family and the kids around us. Move on from there, guys. Let's talk about VR a little bit, guys. The developer, Oakley Labs, I'm probably saying that wrong. It's basically, they're like Alchemy Labs. I'm sorry I can't say the developer's name right. I suck at names, but they have actually sold themselves or been bought by Google, and that's kind of interesting because they're the creators of Job Simulator and the recent Rick and Morty virtual reality game. Now, this developer I thought made one of the most interesting launch titles for the Vive, Job Simulator, which is a fun little robot game. You guys should check my channel to see gameplay of that, and I really do think that was a cool game. That it was, if they got the chance to expand on it, it could be really awesome. Now that they're working with Google, they're definitely going to have money behind them, and I just thought this was really interesting that Google bought a game developer, like, and a really good one for VR at that, because they do have their own Daydream platform. So it's going to be interesting to see what Google wants this company to make, even though the company right now is saying that Google's giving them a lot of freedom to explore whatever projects they want currently. But I think eventually Google's going to want some big hit from them to come out on their Daydream platform. And the one negative I'm going to take away from this is because the Daydream platform has very simplistic control. If you guys have seen the controller for Daydream, it's basically just a little tiny wand with one button. It's not very in-depth or dual analog or anything like that, like you could get on the Vive or the Oculus Rift or even the PlayStation VR with a normal controller. So whatever's going to be coming out from the studio in the future, if Google's going to really push them to put it on Daydream, is going to have to be more simplistic control, which is not what I want to see from VR. I love the things that let us move around or use a controller and interact with the environment and in a more in-depth and deep way, and not the games that are right now on mobile VR, which just usually have you use complete head control to look right, look left, look up and down, or move your head around. I like being able to move around in the environment, either through motion controls and tracking, or using a controller with dual analogs. That's what I really like to see right now. And I wasn't going to talk about this for this episode, but Microsoft also announced their controllers, which is going to be coming with their virtual reality headset. And that headset controllers actually has dual analog and a touchpad on it. It's like a hybrid between the Oculus Rift touch controls and what's currently available for the HTC Vive. And I actually think that Microsoft seems to be putting themselves in the best position right now going into the VR market, because their headset is priced pretty competitive in the $300 to $400 range with controllers, and these controls look very actually interesting, especially to normal gamers who are used to dual analog controls. I kind of shouldn't be too surprised by this at this point, because Microsoft as a company has been putting out pretty decent controllers over the last few generations, starting from the 360, and their controllers have been praised from many gamers. So if you're like an Xbox 360 gamer and you like the 360 controller, Xbox One controller, now they're going into the VR market, and it seems like they're making a good controller here. Let's not talk about the dark days of the Xbox original controller, that big whole brick that literally hurt if you dropped it on your foot. But they have evolved, and I think they're doing a good job with this one right here. I'm still gonna say though, going back to Google, I hope they don't force the developer to only make Daydream specific games that are very limited. I would love to see the developers still work on stuff for the Oculus and the Rift and expand the VR industry as a whole. But we have to see what Google wants out of them, because Google ain't putting a bunch of money into a developer if they don't want something special in return. Let's move on to another interesting little release. Yeah guys, if you guys are into Sims, there's a brand new Sims games available on mobile, and it's literally called The Sims Mobile. Don't be confused, even though it's a free-to-play game, there is another Sims game that's called Sims Free-to-Play, and that game is complete and utter garbage. Do not play that Sims Free-to-Play game. It's so bad. I hated it so much as somebody who generally likes the Sims games. And even with this new Sim mobile game, I was saying that I really wish that this was just a game I could purchase and buy and play for myself. These mobile games that you are free to play usually have restrictions that I don't like. Unfortunately, even though I do have a link in the description for you guys to download this brand new game, it's only available in specific regions, so it might not be available in your region. So you guys can click the link and see if you could download the game right now and get it tried out. But I know some places in the United States it's not available. There are APKs out there and the iOS download versions as well, but you got to be careful guys. If you're going to be downloading an unofficial application onto your phone, you got to make sure you're getting it from a trusted source. So be careful. I say might as well wait till the official release is out there and all the bugs are worked out, instead of giving EA the early access feedback per se. And we got two more stories for you guys today. Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind has a brand new trailer, and it makes me very interested in going back and playing some more Morrowind. You know, like that's a really old game right there. But it also makes me want to play Elder Scrolls Online, which is a game that I actually own, but I've played so few hours of it at length. In a sense, I've started my character in that game 3 different times because I will play for like a week or so, as it is an MMO, then I'll go away for like 2-3 months, forget what I was doing, forget who I was playing with, where I was, and I had to start a new character. And I've done this 3 times, so maybe it's gonna be a 4th time because this new expansion is gonna come out, and I'm really getting interested in the Elder Scrolls franchise again, reading lore, playing Elder Scrolls Legends, and I'm like, you know what, I might just need to play some more Elder Scrolls Online. I own the game. It doesn't cost anything monthly. I might as well play some more. Let me know if you guys think that new trailer looks pretty cool and it interests you in playing the new expansion. And last but not least, this is for the Overwatch enthusiasts out there who haven't bought the game, because I'm sure there's people out there who watch Overwatch on Twitch who are like, I'm gonna wait till there's a Game of the Year edition or something. Well, guess what? There's gonna be a Game of the Year anniversary edition coming for Overwatch with a bunch of little tiny things. Not much, because I'm throwing it out there. There really wasn't that much content in Overwatch upon release. I said that in my review, and I'm sticking with that. When the game got released, there wasn't really much there. But if you want Overwatch now, there's going to be a new edition coming out very soon, so you might as well hold off until that gets announced before you go ahead and buy Overwatch. This has been Beaky with the Untitled Game Show. Thank you guys for watching. Links to a lot of these stories in the description, and a lot more information on ways to support the channel, because if you like what I do right here, hit that like button. If you don't like what I do, hit the dislike button. If you want to follow me around talking about the gaming industry, well, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is @UntitledLife. Why is it Untitled Life? Well, guys, our lives are not titled. So go ahead and live your life and find a title for it. Peace out, guys.